What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. Check out the content. With that being said, man, in this video, I want to break down and give you some reasons of why I think that LeBron James's his time in LA was a big failure, right? He did win that one championship in the bubble. They also won the what was it? The mid-season tournament. I don't know what they call it. I don't know what they call it, the something cup, right? So he did win that. But even those two championships or awards that he received by Lakers standards is just not enough. You know, you talking about and one of the top organizations in not just basketball, but in all of sports, right? And so LeBron James, I think, has been in Los Angeles with the Lakers for 8 years. And that's all he had to show for it, right? Is the bubble championship, the mid-season tournament, and a bunch of like first round exits and getting swept here and there. So it's definitely a big failure. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play this audio from what's the guy named Scat. Then I'm gonna come back and give some more of my input and more reasons as why this is his tenure is a failure. But even before I play the video, just imagine like if you was a Boston Celtics fan, right? And you say, okay, what LeBron James has done for the 8 years that he was in Los Angeles, I wish that as a Boston Celtic fan, he could have done that for us in Boston. With the rich history that the Boston Celtics fans have with winning championships, when you talk about the Bill Russell era, then you talk about what Larry Bird done, what he did for Boston. Like, neither one of those eras would they wouldn't swap out what LeBron James did for the Lakers and say, okay, we'd rather have that. Whereas though, if you take what Larry Bird did in Boston for his 13 years, you could say fans would probably be arguing and say, okay, what Michael Jordan did for Chicago with his 15 years, we'll take the 6 championships over Larry Bird's 3 championships, right? But in none of the prestigious organizations that have won championships would want what LeBron did for the Lakers. They wouldn't want what LeBron did for Miami, and so they wouldn't want that because it's not what they're used to. Like they have higher standards in all these organizations. You talk about Boston, Chicago, Los Angeles, the Spurs, and now you have Golden State, who has 4 championships, right? None of those organizations would be like, all right, LeBron James, we want what LeBron James brought to the Lakers, or we want him to duplicate what he did in Miami. None of those organizations would go for that. And so, like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play what Scat had to say, because I have even more to add to this as far as LeBron James and what he would mean to each one of those organizations and where he would fit in my opinion, in each one of those like top organizations. And a lot of these organizations that I just even mentioned, he wouldn't even be the best team on it. I mean, wouldn't be the best player in these organizations' history, and so let me play what Scat had to say though.
Well, on the heels of LeBron's latest playoff ousting, there has been some question as to what the future holds for His Highness, with Bron himself indicating that he simply doesn't know.
I mean, what my future, I don't know, obviously. I mean, obviously we're still fresh from, obviously losing, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the future holds for me, obviously, as it stands right now tonight. I got a lot of time. I'll sit back, like I think I said it last year after we lost, I think to Minnesota, to go back and recalibrate with my family and talk with them and spend some time with them. And then when the time comes, I obviously, you guys know what I decide to do.
And while I think it is an absolute lock he plays next year for a 24th career season, there is legitimate doubt as to what exact jersey he may be wearing. And at least a fairly large part of that uncertainty centers around the fact that the Lakers don't yet know if they want him back.
Let me stop it right there. I think the Lakers would take LeBron James back for the right price. They don't have too many options next year, so they can promote him far as like his retirement tour if that's what he wanted to do. I think it would benefit LeBron and the Lakers, but I don't think anybody else that have a chance of winning next year is going to want to bring LeBron in.
If he is in their plans, there is therefore at least a remote possibility, if not a distinct one, that James has played his last game in a Lakers jersey. And since that is the case, there has been a plethora of conversations taking place around the interwebs and various mass media platforms of whether or not his time there has been a success. And well, for starters, LeBron views it as such. That much should be plainly obvious.
I mean, I'm not looking at, my year as a disappointment. That's for damn sure.
And preeminent LeBron jock sniffer and bootlicker Nick Wright had an absolutely audacious take on this.
Was his tenure a success?
Absolutely, unequivocally, yes. And this is where I think there is such a wild double standard for LeBron compared to other contemporary stars.
And look, I most certainly do agree there is a double standard here. LeBron gallivanting all over the NBA, building stacked ass teams with players he handpicks to maximize his winning capabilities, then expecting to be compared to guys in straight loser organizations with scrubs surrounding them. Guys like Giannis Antetokounmpo and Nikola Jokic.
Let me say this, though, about LeBron James. I don't think there's even a double standard. I think it's a effort to lower the bar. Like when you talking about comparing LeBron James to guys like Jokic, comparing Giannis, right? Both of those guys only have one NBA championship. You would never compare like Mike Jordan to Charles Barkley or Patrick Ewing, and those were great players, but those guys didn't win championships. You couldn't, like during his era, you couldn't compare Mike to those guys. You couldn't compare Mike to Clyde Drexler, right? And so if you try to compare LeBron James to these guys, then you're lowering the bar. Like Mike raised the bar when he was, and so that's what Kobe had to chase. Mike chased Magic and Bird, he had to go through Isaiah. But when he played with his contemporaries, though, you couldn't really compare those guys to Mike because Mike raised the bar. LeBron James did not raise the bar. And also LeBron James is not even the best Laker. I wouldn't put LeBron James ahead of Magic. I wouldn't put LeBron James ahead of Kobe or Kareem, right? Because if you look at his 8 years, like I said, you look at his 8 years of what he gave them, everybody else gave way more to the Laker organization. The standards, the bar is so much higher than what LeBron, he just didn't meet that standard. So how could LeBron James even be in that GOAT conversation? And then also think about this. LeBron James wouldn't even have been the best player. Like if he had to play for, let's say, the Celtics, he would not have been like the best player in Celtics history. You got Bill Russell, you got Larry Bird, and then if you go back even further, like the guys who played with Bill Russell, because that was like that team that Bill Russell played with was all Hall of Famers, right? So LeBron James, Celtics fans they would be so upset. Like if there was some kind of way that you could trade like what LeBron James did for either Miami, like the 2 championships that he won in Miami wouldn't amount up to what Bill Russell did for Boston, or the 2 championships that he won in Miami wouldn't amount up to what like Larry Bird did for Boston. When you compare LeBron James and his tenure at any of his stops to what Tim Duncan did in San Antonio, right? Like you wouldn't be able to get a San Antonio Spurs fan to say, "Oh yeah, we'll definitely trade what LeBron James brought to the table for Miami for what Tim Duncan did," and it wouldn't, because the bar was so much higher, and you would be cheating yourself as a Spurs fan, right? Whatever organization. Then when I would even take Steph Curry's tenure at Golden State over what LeBron did in Miami, over what he did in Cleveland, over what LeBron did in in Los Angeles. Like, Golden State fans would not want no parts of that. And if LeBron James if he had played for Golden State and he did the things that he did, like at Miami or in Cleveland, they wouldn't be satisfied with that, because Steph Curry bought them 4 rings, right? So LeBron James, even if on Golden State team or if he played for that organization, he wouldn't even be the best Golden State Warrior. He would have to definitely come behind Steph Curry, because Steph stayed there for his entire career and brought that organization, helped to bring that organization 4 championships, right? Only organizations I think that LeBron James could be like considered the top would be a team like Cleveland. Like their one and only championship comes from LeBron James. So if Cleveland said, all right, LeBron James is he's our greatest Cavalier of all time, then because it's lower in Cleveland, the bar is lower in Cleveland than it is in San Antonio, than it is in Houston. It's lower than it is in Chicago. It's lower than it is in Boston, Golden State. So these, they're used to you talking about dynasties. LeBron James has never been a part of a dynasty and never created a dynasty anywhere, right? And so this whole thing about LeBron James, man, that's why I just think it's a fraud. And a lot of people are, thinking they know that it's a fraud. And they're not allowing mainstream media to get away with this. That's why you just had so many people on this platform and other platforms, man, just calling out the nonsense. Because LeBron James, like I said, Spurs fans wouldn't be interested in him. Houston Rocket fans, you know what I mean? What Hakeem had 2 rings, right? But the 2 championships that Hakeem brought to the Houston Rockets, I bet you they would take that over the 2 championships that LeBron brought to the Miami Heat. And that's just, that's just being honest. If you had an opportunity as a Houston Rocket fan, you wouldn't want what he did in Miami. You'd be like, nah, let's take Hakeem Olajuwon, man. I appreciate the way he did it even better, because he was a Rocket from day one. He brought them 2 championships. He earned those 2 championships. So all of this stuff about LeBron James being even in the GOAT conversation, he wouldn't even be. I can name, like I said, I've named like 4 or 5 organizations that he wouldn't even be the best in their, you know what I mean? Like how can he be in a GOAT conversation when he's not even the best in Golden State organization? He wouldn't be the best if he played for the Rockets organization, the Spurs organization. You're not going to take him over Tim Duncan. You're not going to take him over Larry Bird. You're not going to take him over Magic. You're not going to take him over Mike. Yeah, man, if you look at it like that, LeBron James just slide way down the list, then I wouldn't take him over Isaiah Thomas. I just wouldn't take LeBron over Isaiah Thomas, and they won 2 championships, but I just wouldn't, like what he did in Miami, I think don't amount to what Isaiah did in Detroit. So that's just to give you a different perspective or a different way of looking at what LeBron James, and like when you start looking at it like that, you break it down team by team. You say, wow, with LeBron James, what he did, like with that fan base and that particular city organization, like would they appreciate that? Is their bar higher? So look at it like that. And, let me know what you think. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment, and I'm going to check you all out in the next video. Peace.